Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm sharing with you an energy update for the month of May. We've just entered into a new month, and month of May will be very transformative in many different aspects, and I want to share with you 5 different energy themes that will be present. Excuse me if the sound quality is not maybe the best today. I'm actually recording this voice over outside in the nature, and I'm playing to you a painting that I've created some time ago that will be of support for today's message. So enjoying the painting, and well, grab a piece of paper and maybe write down what will resonate with you the most. So in May, my friend, you will be pulling back a lot of your energy. You will call it back from people, from places and patterns that leave you empty. You will become more and more familiar with what is truly your unique and authentic energy, and therefore you will be learning to live more in embodiment of it, which means that you will start to recognize how it feels to really be you in all different aspects of your life, in certain social interactions, in certain, parts of the day. You will start to become more aware of how much differently you respond to certain events when you are being you rather than a certain unconscious pattern. So the reminder is you're not here to fix what was never yours to hold. You need to learn to protect your pace, to maybe speak less, to even strive less, and recognize what is truly your goal, what is truly your path to walk. That's how you return to yourself. And that's when clarity arrives, not through some chasing, but through quiet listening. So the first thing that will be very deeply present, especially at the beginning of May, is mental deconditioning and integration of truth. So you may find yourself questioning a belief you've held for years, like for example, success equals status, and begin rewiring it to align with your personal truth. So what I would encourage you right now is to identify at least 1, 2, or 3 beliefs that you think at this point is holding you back from experiencing either freedom, success, financial abundance, or health. Just identify it, because firstly, if you question it, you will know it's not the truth. Secondly, if you keep believing to it, your life can't change, because as long as you are controlled by something that you've never questioned, it will keep you in certain patterns that will never change. But as soon as you start questioning it and finding an alternative way to think about it, you will start seeing details in your reality you haven't seen before. And that's how your reality will start aligning with that vision or these goals that you hold for yourself. You will also maybe notice that you're consuming less and less of certain maybe books, maybe podcasts, or any kind of external information, and you're realizing more and more that the answers you've been seeking or the clarity you've been seeking can only come from within. And I know you've heard these words before, that everything comes from within, but you've never fully understood them, or you're just beginning to understand them more and more. So allow this to happen very, I would say, spontaneously. When you realize that doesn't matter how much you follow certain information that comes from outside of you, it may help you, but it also distracts you from what is maybe your job at this point, or what is your truth, or what is your authentic understanding of certain aspects that you need to know at this point. And another thing you may notice is that recurring thought loop, a certain loop of thinking, like for example, I should be further ahead, or I should be so much more evolved, or I should be so much more successful. This kind of thought loop is slowly softening, especially if you sit with it instead of resisting it and allowing inner peace to emerge. This is something that many of you are noticing, that some kind of rigid thoughts that caught you in this fight or flight, like the need to fight with reality because you're not satisfied where you are, because maybe you've been comparing yourself with someone else and therefore kind of competing with some people somewhere at some time. You've recognized it doesn't serve you. So when you sit with it and allow the pace to emerge, you recognize that you are on completely your own path. You're on completely your own path, and that's beautiful. Then the second energy theme is sharing personal narratives that inspire. So this is especially for those of you who are creators out there, maybe light workers, maybe artists, writers, poets, even entrepreneurs. Many of you will be inspired in May to use certain personal examples to maybe amplify your business, or maybe write your stories in a way that can be inspired by your personal life. Maybe you start sharing a weekly reflection on Instagram about lessons from your personal journey, and it will resonate deeply with others. Or maybe you will start, writing a whole new book on certain experiences that changed you. I've noticed personally that in the recent days, I've been very deeply inspired to talk more about certain parts of my story that can be relatable with a certain specific topic. And I found it very helpful, and the feedback was very good. So those things may be happening right now because collectively we heal the most when we can relate to one another, and therefore use examples from others to level up our lives. And therefore this is something that in May will be very supportive. You may also feel more deeply attracted to certain personal stories. So if these things arrive in your life, let them and learn from them, so then you can apply them in your life. Maybe it can also happen that during a casual conversation you tell a story about overcoming maybe burnout or something like that, and it sparks someone else's realization. If you decide to write a book or blog, it's a very good thing to have maybe an opportunity, an outlet where you can share what you've experienced. And every time you share something very deeply personal, it also helps you to understand more deeply what you've been through. And many times when people do that, they experience, that moment of being proud of themselves and recognizing that actually they're way more courageous than they thought they are. And then, if you think about your future from this new perspective, you will recognize that so much more is possible for you, right? So know that your voice has value, even if it's not perfect. And that's something you should write it down. My voice has value, even if it's not perfect. Because many times, especially content creators and people who begin on this journey, they think they need to be perfect, because those who are already successful in it are just more skillful than beginners. obviously they've done a lot of work. So your voice has value even if it's not perfect. The third energy theme is commitment to what's aligned. So that's something you've been focusing on most probably for the whole year this year. But what is happening energetically is that what's not aligned is becoming so heavy on us that we're just letting it go, and therefore we're focusing more and more on what we truly want out of our lives, what we truly want to do. Not just like what we want intellectually, but what truly aligns with us, what feels light to our hearts, and what feels like this is my stream, this is where I see myself, and this is what truly, truly resonates with me. So most probably many of you will notice that you finally say no to a collaboration that doesn't light you up, even if it pays well, because your energy isn't behind it. That's something I've been always standing behind it for my whole journey, since I've doing this on YouTube and sharing my art, selling my art. We've never took any collaboration that would not align with ourselves. So we're not doing much sponsoring or sponsorships, any of that, because it didn't resonate with me. And it's powerful because then you don't need to sell yourself for it, and you find different ways to make money with your work that truly aligns with you. So this is something really you will begin to notice that more and more you will be doing just what speaks to you, and in May these energies will amplify. So you are beginning to see that you're becoming more truthful, more authentic, and more aligned with what truly speaks to you. You are also beginning to see that you say a powerful yes to a new creative project, knowing that it will require consistency, but it excites you because it has something valuable inside of it. And when you are noticing this, my friend, just go for it, because many times when we go on this kind of creative endeavors, we don't see support outside of us, and usually also support doesn't appear immediately. But if we really put all of ourselves into it, we will eventually find a way that can financially support us as well. And it's good because we learn to become resourceful, and we learn to think very creatively about possibilities. That's something I needed to find out in the past, and today I'm the most grateful that I ever did something like that. Another thing you may notice related to commitment to what's aligned with you is that you review all your current commitments and release the ones where your body feels resistance or depletion. This is some kind of purification that is also happening due to this new energy. So maybe you've noticed that in the past you've done like 10 different commitments, but only 2 of them are really energetically rewarding, which means like 2 of 10 commitments were something that you were passionate about, but other ones were maybe just for money. It's nothing wrong with that, but maybe see if you can survive with a bit less of money for a short period of time, and see if having more energy can actually allow you to be more creative than for what you're truly passionate about, and therefore with your passions you can discover ways to maybe make more money later. This is just one example, but that's often how I think about my creative projects, because I never doubt my creative capacities, and I don't want to limit my energy with something that doesn't resonate with me. So I rather find a way to adapt to circumstances and to devote myself to what truly feels right, and then with it and with my skills find a way that will also bring me closer to my goals. That's how I work with these energies. The fourth energy theme for my is emotional triggers will be more and more seen as soul invitations. So let me explain this for a moment. For example, your partner's silence triggers abandonment, fears. But instead of reacting, you explore the root of the emotion and communicate it vulnerably. This is a beautiful example because in the past you used to react out of certain fear, like in this case abandonment, fear, and then it just repeated a conflict that happened before, and you were like, oh, once again we are in this. But when you really notice what caused that fear, like what are you afraid to lose, you recognize you were not fully trusting the love maybe of your partner, or you were not trusting your love, or you were not trusting that there's a better way to resolve your unconscious issues. And therefore you can open up vulnerably and say to your partner, hey, you know, this attitude of yours triggers me in this way, and I know I have this fear, but can you give me a reassurance that it's not what I think it is, or something like that. Like, this is how me and Maya are communicating when there's something like that, and it deepened our relationship to such a degree that there's so much less of this kind of triggers that happen, and it's very, very valuable. Maybe another thing that you may notice related to emotional triggers as soul invitation is that someone's passive comment about your work, just one example, like not being real art, yeah, or something like that, provokes you and leads you to finally own your creative identity. So maybe this is more personal example. I don't receive this kind of comments, but I receive other ones, like we all do. All of us that are expressing ourselves publicly. Well, I've started looking at all the criticism as it all has some truth to it, but I'm not fully attached to any of that. Like, I would never say I don't care what critics says, but I don't fully agree with it. Never. I look at this type of things and ask myself, okay, who is that person that said that? How much they know me? How much they know my work? Or was it just some quick expression because they have some troubles in their lives? And then I see how to feel about it. That's what helps me to own my creative identity, whatever that means to anyone. So the point is that any emotional trigger can lead you deeper into your true soul identity. Your true soul identity is who you are. It's who you are as a being who wants to express itself. And, you know, every time you express yourself freely, you will draw to you certain criticism, and then you can look at it through this kind of a lens, like, okay, if I'm doing it for myself, then others' opinions don't truly matter. If I'm doing that just for others, then others' opinions are a reflection of my wrong intentions, and therefore everything leads you closer into yourself, into your soul. And another one, maybe an emotional wave hits you out of nowhere, and you allow yourself to journal, cry, or create through that emotion instead of suppressing it. This is another way how emotional triggers can serve as soul invitations. And in May, you will do a lot of progress here. So how this progress may feel, you will notice that you are less and less frequently triggered, or triggers are less and less intense, which means that you are more fluid, you are more free, and you feel lighter. And in terms of manifestation, you will notice you experience more alignment, you experience more manifestations that reaffirm to you that you are safe, that you are on the right track and everything is working in your favor. So you are beginning to see more of this kind of beautiful things that are happening in your life and around you as you're dealing with your emotional triggers and seeing them as soul invitations, guiding you deeper into yourself. And the last energy theme for May, authentic expression and leadership through your authenticity, through your uniqueness. So one example here may be that you launch a passion project that doesn't follow trends maybe, but it deeply reflects your voice and excites your core community, whatever that may be for you. Maybe you step into a leadership role not by managing others, but by simply being transparent, consistent, and true to your process. Just some time ago, I've been talking with one entrepreneur who is being an incredible leader of their company and is also a mentor and boss to many workers. But she's very different boss. She's very compassionate. She knows all the workers to their core, and she's vulnerable with them at times when it's appropriate. And I saw by that a very great example of a leader. Like, lead with power, but also learn to get to the level of maybe your followers or people you lead and understand them, because then they can relate to you and they will follow you and they will grow with you. That's where followers become leaders too. If they can relate to a leader, that's something very powerful. And it can be relatable to parents, like understand your kids instead of just maybe trying to control them or trying to influence them. Or content creators, don't just strive to gain more followers. Learn to understand your followers and see what they need, what are their needs, not just your needs. And see how to get on their level, but not losing yourself by doing that. This is a very wise thing to do that helps you to really connect with other people. And that's something I've learned so much on my journey, to frequently reflect on what I want to do as, an artist, how I want to express myself, but also what are the needs of community and all of that. Very important. And then the last thing, you may realize that your greatest contribution isn't what you do, but how you do it. And that gives others permission to do the same. So this is maybe another example to authentic expression and leadership through uniqueness. So I hope you found a great value today. This is something I'm feeling right now, what is coming for the month of May energetically. And let me know if you found it valuable, if you would like to see more of this kind of updates, because I'm also, as I said, reflecting on what truly matters. So your feedback means a lot, and it also helps me to shape the content in a way that you find it valuable. So thank you so much for your feedback in the comment section. And I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting as well. To anyone who would like to get a print of it, you can go onto AttractPassion.com or the link in the description of this video, and you will find all of my art there. See which one resonates with you the most. You will find prints of it in different sizes, and by buying my art, you are supporting this mission, which is something that I'm truly grateful for. Because by that, you are actually serving the whole community. So thank you so much. And also join us on our Patreon community for more exclusive content, community chat, and deeper conversations and guided meditations. So see you there as well. And well, my friends, till next time, one love.